Sakawas Nobis, she, her, and I'm the executive director of Great Plains Action Society. Great Plains Action Society, we used to call it Indigenous Iowa because I'm terrible at finding names for things, and it just seemed like the obvious name. But it was very loosely, I was trying to do something, like after I graduated from my master's degree at the University of Iowa, and I was no longer running the Native American Student Association. I no longer had that Indigenous community around me. I started trying to get friends over to my house to I don't know, just start something. And eventually, I think around 2014, I was really actively thinking and talking to folks about how do we do more. And so I started having just meetings every once in a while with natives that would come through, and I would try to convince people to come and do interesting things. That's really what it was. And we work with amazing organizations and people all over the state. So that's how we came to be. I'm involved with all of the realms of our work, which are land defense, ending the missing and murdered Indigenous relatives crisis, and representation, which encompasses our political engagement and other areas where Natives are just misrepresented or not represented at all. I can say though that there are a lot of Indigenous nations that did prescribe to the idea of multiple genders and multiple ways of living lives, right? And that it was okay. In some cases it was even sacred. And for instance, my Cree people have 5 genders in some cases, in some nations. So that's one way that we can relate. That traditionally, with some of our nations, there was an acceptance, it was just normal and it was okay. So we can perpetuate those traditions, and it helps. So there's some amazing, Two-Spirit or LGBTQIA, Indigenous peoples out there that are just powerful because they have support. Unfortunately, there's a lot that aren't supported, but that's how I see that intersectionality. Thank you, One Iowa, for the Community Partnership Award. Great Plains Action Society is honored to accept this, and we see this as a step forward in doing more work together. We hope that we can fight oppression and hate together.